Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, which is a very long title.
It is a very long title.
We're going to call it Shaun Chi.
You're just going to call it Shaun.
Shaun.
Okay, he's called Shaun.
Shaun. Because that's what they call him in the movie. We actually went to go see it yesterday. Went to a matinee. And to be honest, it wasn't that bad.
Nope.
It actually wasn't that bad. So, you know, we're gonna talk about the movie. This will be a spoiler-filled review. At some point, we'll give you a heads up on the spoilers, and then we're gonna talk about the box office predictions, which we've been talking about. We've been talking more about the box office. The spin. I mean, it's going to definitely be the biggest Labor Day opening ever.
It was always going to be, because no one releases their movies on Labor Day because they don't do well.
But during these unprecedented times, you know.
Yeah, it's a Marvel movie.
It
was going to do well no matter, I mean, just because it's Marvel, it was going to beat $30 million, Halloween precedent no matter what.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that. And, still, the weird thing about this movie is it's going to break Labor Day weekends, but still going to wind up being probably a financial disappointment, especially without China, which this movie was designed for.
But they're like, it's going to be third among the blockbusters after Black Widow and Fast and Furious 9. What other ones were out?
Quiet Place.
Okay.
But that's not really a blockbuster.
I'm like, is it, when you're third out of three, is that really that great? And then it's funny to me because people keep making comments like, well, you just hate on it, ha ha ha. It's like, we didn't. We just kept saying they're trying to spin it, and it's probably not going to perform as well as others because Disney is brushing under the rug, and it was crap that Disney was doing that. I don't even know what to tell people. They don't listen.
They don't watch our videos. We have a whole bunch of people that they want to give their armchair opinion on how awful we are, but they never actually watch our videos because you catch them a lot of times saying that we said something that we didn't say.
But if you watch the video, you'd know that it's not what we said.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm sure, just watch the comments because I'm sure we'll get, depending on how it starts out, I'm sure we'll get lots of comments on that. Anyway, continue.
Anyway, yeah, we're going to get Clownfish lied. It's like, no, actually, Clownfish reported on the tracking data from other sources.
That gets me. It's like, how much power do you think we have?
I don't know. A lot of people seem to be afraid of us.
I know, it's kind of funny.
It's weird. Anyway.
Before we get into it any further,
please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Over 234,000 subs.
Woohoo!
Again, very tiny channel.
I know.
By YouTube standards, anything under 1 million is considered kind of a tiny channel.
So let's get us to 1 million, so we definitely can say that we are making them mad. Anyways.
Thank you very much for the support, guys. Greatly appreciated. So we'll talk first about the movie, and then we'll talk about the box office predictions. Now, it might be doing better than people thought, and it was tracking for the longest time as of last week at 35 to 55 million domestic.
Let's talk about the box office first. And the reason being, and then somebody can turn it off after that if they don't want spoilers.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Box office first. So yes, so they were like in this big deal of how it was going to be like Labor Day, breaking records. Of course it was going to be. Even at their low estimates of 35 million, it beat the $30 million Halloween record holder already.
Yeah.
So it was projected at 35 to 55 million. Yeah. Okay. Now they're saying it's going to hit they think 65-ish, I want to say.
Is that domestic?
I don't know. It didn't say. I think that's 60. I think it is domestic, 67.8. Now, the other problem now you have to understand, Black Widow was 80.3 and F9 was 70. And they're like, but it's going to beat, all those because now it's going 75 to 85 for 4 days. See, you have to compare apples to apples, folks. That's what they keep not doing. It's like apples to apples, that's not bad. It's better than the expectations over 3 days. 4 days it might hit that. But you can't, it was going to beat F9 and Black Widow, but not for the same amount of time. You have to put it in context.
Yeah, so look, this is how Disney does things. Not just Disney, every studio.
Oh, they all do it. It's not just Disney, no.
Right. They want to be able to brag, so they will find a way to massage that data to make it look as good as possible.
Biggest opening on a Thursday at 8:05 p.m., or something like that.
Yeah. As far as it being an experiment, Disney probably was testing the waters to see if theatrical only would be viable. And the thing about this one, though, in a way, I'm kind of rooting for it because they really didn't promote.
No, Disney kind of screwed them. And that's what we've been saying. They shifted all their attention to Eternals a while ago.
Eternals, and now everybody's stepping over both of them, both Shang-Chi and Eternals, and looking at Spider-Man.
Right.
That's one everybody's really excited about.
And we've said the whole time, we thought that Shang-Chi was going to do better than Eternals, because I think there was more demand for this character than the Eternals, and both characters are, relatively unknown. Eternals and the Shang-Chi character, they're not ones people know. But I think there was going to be more of a demand just from what we've seen with this one than the Eternals, which we've been saying. Tell that to the people who don't watch the videos.
It's, we're used to it. I mean, God, I was on Wes from Thinking Critical. I was on Thinking Critical. And, we had a conversation just talking numbers, talking Disney, talking Marvel and all that. And randos came in with that, and they were kind of harassing him. I'm like, Clownfish is a hate channel. It's like,
no.
What? What are you talking about? Go away. Go away.
But, we went and saw the movie.
Yeah,
and as we said many times, it could be a good movie.
Yes.
We've been saying that. So, anyway, do you want to keep talking about box office? Because there's not really much else to say.
Well, it's kind of interesting to see, Scott Mendelson sort of backpedal here. He had to walk it back because, we did a video last week talking about how he was saying, and others were saying.
I didn't even see he.
Yeah, they said it could be the best Labor Day opening and also the lowest opening ever for a Marvel movie. So it was kind of like two records. And this is an expensive movie. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a $200 million movie.
Yeah, and even if they're at what they're thinking it's going to pull, it is going to be probably less than. Is it going to be less than Ant-Man? I don't think so.
No, I think it's actually going to do better than Ant-Man. We'll talk about that. But now he's saying, hey, it's doing really good, guys. There's no superhero fatigue. There's no superhero fatigue at all. So
I think some people want to go to the movies because they're tired of being cooped up.
Yeah. So I guess we can talk about the movie itself then.
Okay, so spoilers are coming. If you don't want to hear it, you probably should turn it off now.
Yeah, so here's the thing. It wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't.
I mean, I think you liked it more than I did.
Yes.
But, I was coming at from a comic book fan's perspective, and I was a little disappointed that I was excited. I was hoping we're actually going to get the Mandarin, and we still don't get the actual Mandarin. We get a hybrid of the Mandarin and Fu Manchu, but he doesn't have rings. He's got magic bangles. Yeah,
they are. They're bracelets. They don't have the rings with the powers like you had said. That was the Infinity Stone type thing. Yeah. Now I'm coming at it from somebody who doesn't read the comics, and it's just one of the normies going to see the movie, and I think that's why I liked it better than you did.
Yeah. Now, if you. Again, this is kind of what you have to do with the MCU, I think, going forward, is just, try to sever the comic book connection because it's going to be really tenuous. Mm-hmm. Just as a high fantasy martial arts movie, it's not bad. It's not a bad movie.
It does not feel like a Marvel movie. Other than the couple throwbacks to the MCU, you don't really get Marvel from it.
No, they have a couple references to, Doctor Strange and Hulk. Now, God, I hate being right. I totally called the end credits scene.
We were joking.
I'm like, because they were the actors. Simu Liu was like, you have to stick around because there's this amazing end credit, and it turned out it was freaking Captain Marvel.
And there wasn't anything really important about it. It was Captain Marvel, Bruce talking about what the rings are, and then them and Wong go out to karaoke. I mean, no, it wasn't groundbreaking. And Captain Marvel doesn't do anything. Says, nope, they're not, Kree. Okay, bye. Yeah. That literally is all she does.
Just to get her in there, remind you she's still there.
Then the final one's just his sister taking over their dad's business, which, I thought was surprising. But it wasn't anything that oh my God, you had to say and see it. There wasn't anything there that
nothing was groundbreaking. But the movie itself, it wasn't that bad. I mean,
they make fun of the Mandarin at one point. They're like, well, they named me after a Chinese dish or fruit.
That kind of pissed me off.
Yeah,
I'm not only do we, so we had the fake Mandarin in Iron Man 3.
Which is in this one too, by the way.
Yeah, it's Trevor. It's Ben Kingsley's
I like Ben
character.
Kingsley, he's funny.
He was funny. But it was so that was kind of like a jab at comics fans. But then okay, fine, we're going to actually get the Mandarin, finally getting the Mandarin. Of course, wait till after Tony Stark's dead to get his nemesis, but whatever, and then no, we actually don't even get that. And then he actually makes fun of the Mandarin name. Yeah. I'm like, come on.
And they're bracelets, and they really aren't anything. They work together. They're not anything. They don't have individual powers or anything like that.
No, it's just concussion blast powers
Yeah,
or
it's
something.
like, you hit things with it.
It's
you
like
know?
Sonic the Hedgehog had rings that he could hit people with. That's
Yeah,
basically, I'm going to pelt them with rings.
Now I keep thinking of the fight scenes. All I keep hearing is the rings when you get hit and the sound it makes in my head when I'm thinking about the scenes. Like, someone should go do that. They should get the scenes and then put the Sonic rings, like, sounds when you get hit and you like that ting thing. That'd be funny.
Yeah. So again, very different from comic book Mandarin, but this is look, the MCU is clearly its own thing at this point, and I don't think they give a shit about comic book fans. I really don't think they do.
But
I mean, it's,
as far as the movie goes, it was not a bad movie. I mean,
No,
it wasn't.
no.
It was definitely, like I said, if you didn't have the Marvel connections in it, you wouldn't even think Marvel for most of the film.
Yeah, I actually got the vibe. It was more like, okay, this is a live action Disney remake of some kind, because it did feel, in some ways it felt more Disney-ish.
There were some parts on that I thought, and you said it afterwards, it felt like is this like they were turning it into a ride or something? Because there were some parts of it that did feel like you were on a ride.
Yeah.
Like an attraction at Disney.
When they go to, God, I can't remember the name of it, the hidden village, and we get all these CG creatures.
It was like riding through. It was literally like riding through Pokemon Snap.
It was.
I was like, that's all I kept thinking, because they appear in this bubble of water, like, how you're in the new Pokemon Snap, you're in that little vehicle and it's in a circle, and then they're driving through these fields and they're looking at all these mystical creatures that are looking at them and moving away. It looked like effing Pokemon Snap.
I actually turned to you during the movie. I'm like, they're thinking theme park ride.
Well, see, I got it more from when they were in the parking area and they were going backwards. It just felt very like you're in a theme park ride to me. But yeah, it was like Pokemon Flip and Snap, and that was a little weird.
It was kind of like in that regard, it felt like two different movies. Like, it felt like on one level it was kind of a run-of-the-mill martial arts movie with some pretty decent choreography.
Oh yeah, the fight scenes were really good.
The bus fight was actually pretty good. I mean, the bus looked kind of fakey, but it wasn't bad. And then the fight on the scaffolding was actually pretty good too. And then all of a sudden we go from that into this like fantasy world, which felt more Disney, I think, than. But the thing is that the market, so I'm going to be honest, the marketing for this movie did not do it any favors.
No.
Disney really dropped the ball with this one, because they just kind of kept focusing on the first act, like, and Awkwafina being funny or grating depending on who you are.
I was actually thinking they toned her down. I was expecting her to be much worse than she was. I absolutely despise her in this one. I thought she was okay. I thought she was better than she usually is.
She's good in small doses.
Yes, and she wasn't as over the top as she usually is. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. So I mean, that's what they mostly showed in the trailer. So you're watching a trailer and you're like, okay, this is just kind of like a generic martial arts movie. Well, what they were holding back was when you get to the hidden village. And they've got all these fantastic creatures. They didn't show you a lot of that. And if they had shown people more of that, you might have actually got people more interested. Because,
I don't think they wanted to ruin the ending battle.
Yeah, but you could have showed some of these more fantastic elements without ruining the climax.
Yeah, it's true.
Which is a dragon versus an eldritch horror. Which Chinese dragon versus eldritch horror. I don't think we've ever seen that in the movie, so that was.
It was pretty cool. However, it did have its never-ending story moments.
It did.
It's like they see the music. He's like, woo,
Ride the dragon, yeah.
It wasn't that bad, but it was like you're expecting the music for it. It wasn't bad, guys. I mean, I actually didn't mind it. I would watch it again, and that's saying something. You even said you'd watch it again.
Yeah, it was better than Black Widow. That's for damn sure. I mean, Black Widow.
Better than Captain Marvel.
Yeah, it was better than Captain Marvel.
I mean, that's a low bar. Let's be fair.
It is. I mean, I'm trying to figure out like how to rank it. Now
it was better than Iron Man 2.
Yes.
And it was better than Thor 2.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, so it wasn't terrible. I mean, it really wasn't I can't say it's a bad movie, and that's, people watch us, they want our opinions on stuff. And look, if we think something's horrible, we're going to come out and say, yeah, this was a piece of shit. But I can't say that. I mean, it was okay. It was
the action sequences are really, really well done. The ending battle's pretty cool. It's just, I mean, then they go do karaoke. That was weird, but
yeah, it was kind of disjointed. Now, as far as people were like, well, they're pushing an agenda. Look, it was a little heavy. There were some cringy parts. It was a little heavy-handed with his sister being told she couldn't do martial arts because she was a woman. But I was expecting them to put Shaun in his place all the time, and that actually didn't happen.
No, it wasn't. It was like, it really wasn't. It was like he did what he was going to do what his dad wanted. And he did what his dad wanted. He hated it, regretted it, left. It was very much his story, and there happened to be women around him, and sometimes they pushed a little bit. But I honestly thought it wasn't that bad. It really wasn't like, oh my God, women power, women power, women power. It wasn't like that, no.
Yeah, Black Widow was more...
If it was, I would say so.
Yeah, I think Black Widow was a lot more overt with their Harvey Weinstein villain and the pheromones and the...
The most, crap. That was the most unbelievable thing to me about it was Awkwafina supposed to be shooting arrows for like 2 days and suddenly can hit the Eldritch Horror from way across the lake.
I know, right?
With an arrow. That one part where I was like, come on. But the rest of it, I didn't, even his sister, it kind of makes sense. It kind of makes sense that they, because the son
that
played.
Would have happened.
It made sense. She was a little bit ridiculous, but it made sense. It wasn't, but I didn't get this whole women. That's just me. If you think that's the case, that's fine. You can think that. I'm not going to debate it because you're going to look at it how you look at it. It's no big deal.
I mean, these are just our opinions. And we went in with, honestly, this one we went into it with zero expectations. Because again, this is a character that even I, as a comic book reader, am not that familiar with. And I was just looking forward to getting proper Mandarin, who I am familiar with.
Yeah, you weren't happy about that.
So that actually is going to kind of irk me. But the MCU just keeps pulling shit out of its ass anyway. So it was
really weird though, because what you don't see in MCU movies is Murray.
Yeah.
They have a little critter, and they're already it's basically the merchandising plushy character that they're trying to push. They're trying to go what they do with Star Wars, like with Ewoks and porgs and stuff with Murray. And it's like, it's MCU.
And they turned, so it was bad enough that we didn't get the actual Mandarin, but they turned him into a goofy ass sidekick with Murray. So So
it was something, but it wasn't terrible. I mean, I'd recommend people watch it. I'd watch it again, and that's saying something because we still haven't watched Rise of Skywalker, and there's other movies like Captain Marvel and stuff we will not watch again.
Oh yeah,
because we're like. Don't care.
I did not walk out of this movie being angry or disappointed. Again, I had no expectations for it really, but as a perfectly serviceable way to spend an afternoon watching a mindless action movie, it's not terrible.
Yeah,
I'd give it a B.
Yeah, probably. It wasn't bad. Yeah. And I'm not, if it was bad, we'd say so. I didn't think it was that bad of a movie. Now you might disagree, and that's completely fine. You don't have to like it, and you can like it if you want to. It doesn't matter. Now, as far as the box office is concerned, I still think that it's not going to be a huge blockbuster because people aren't going to theaters. Disney is not doing it any favors because they are not promoting it.
Yeah,
they should.
So, and I'm torn here because I think on some level, Simu Liu needs to stop talking because he was mouthing off to Bob Chapek. I don't think he did himself any favors. He's been saying some dumb shit on Twitter, but every celebrity says dumb shit on Twitter. So he's not doing himself any favors as far as fans warming up to him and all that. But that being said, if they had just put the movie out there and they'd promote it properly, he's not wrong in what he said that they are, treating this movie like an experiment and kind of writing it off.
They are. They immediately start. Well, I think what it is necessarily it might not be an insult to this movie. What I think is going on is they know Eternals is going to be an uphill battle. That this one at least had somewhat of an interest in it. Yeah. But they knew Eternals moving forward was one that people are going to be like, "What the hell is this?" So I think that they preemptively just threw this as an experiment, threw under the bus, so they can just start trying to put all their efforts into the Eternals because that's going to be at a time slot that's more like a holiday time slot, and they know that there's not much interest in it, and there was way more interest in Shang-Chi. So in a way, it's like kind of a compliment, but it's like a shitty thing to do, if that makes sense. You can hold your own, so we're just letting you go, and then we're going to focus on the one we think is going to be more of an uphill battle.
Well, that and they were probably looking at China's probably not going to run
right.
This
they're
one,
going for India with Eternals.
Yeah, so they're like, well, China, then this one's not going to be worth it, whatever. But yeah, objectively, it wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't. Do I think that Phase 4, Phase 5 of the MCU are ever going to recapture the first three phases?
No.
Hell no. I definitely do not. I think it's going to be a mixed bag, but this might actually wind up being one of the better movies out of Phase 4.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was really looking forward to Phase 4. The only ones I had any interest in seeing was this one, Doctor Strange,
and Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. That's it.
Yeah.
I didn't really care about the other ones. I'm sorry, I don't.
Yeah.
So anyway, there it is. That's our opinion. You don't have to agree. You can't agree. Whatever. But the comments are going to be full of, how dare you? And it's like, you have no idea. Anyway.
Yeah, you just hate Asians.
You just hate this movie.
You just hate this movie. It's like...
I'm going to say, the media is still spinning it really hard.
Yeah,
there's
that's
no
awkward.
question there.
Again, remember the days when they used to just drop movies and they wouldn't come at it from an angle, the guilt angle, like, you need to like this movie because it's got gay people in it. It's got black people in it. It's like, no, you used to just drop the movie and be like, it's either a good movie or it's not a good movie.
There have been good movies that done really well that had characters that were minorities in it. So
I remember going to see the original Mortal Kombat movie, which had a male Asian lead in it. Like 25 years ago.
I'm just more like, they're just, Disney and the media are just immediately with a spin. The spin. Yeah. It's going to do better than they expected it to do, which is good. Good news for the cast and crew and the people who worked hard on it. Is it going to be groundbreaking, record-breaking? From a certain point of view.
From a certain point of view. Just like everything now. Mm-hmm. From a certain point of view. All right, so we got to wrap this one up?
Yep.
Okay, so please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.